Live from London, this is BBC News. President Putin praises the might of Russia's navy, but does not dismiss the idea of peace talks over the Ukraine conflict. The leaders of the coup in Niger say their regional neighbours could be about to stage an imminent military intervention. The UK's Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, insists that he's on the side of car drivers. He wants anti-motorist measures reviewed. Hello, I'm Luke Terri and welcome back to the program. We start this hour with some breaking news. At least 20 people are reported to have been killed in a blast during a rally organised by an Islamist party in northwest Pakistan. Dozens of people have been injured in the explosion within the Bua district, and pictures show ambulances ferrying injured people to nearby hospitals. It is not immediately clear what caused the explosion, and security forces have cordoned off the area. This news has just come into the newsroom here, and we will progress into this bulletin with a more detailed story though. Australia's largest and ever-growing trading partner, China, has currently lifted restrictions on a much-loved import, barley, sourced from the south of Queensland and the north of Western Australia. The Chinese imported over $1.3 billion worth of the product pre-COVID, with heavy tariffs of 80% applied on all barley products sold in the nation. Let's get more on this though with our Australian editor Jordan Bantleman in Sydney. Can you tell us more?
Definitely, Luke. There's an abundance of barley growers throughout Australia, predominantly in Queensland, and our exporters will now be able to re-enter China's economy tariff-free. Once more, it's a very positive step in reassumption of normal trade between Australia and China. For the past 3 years, Beijing applied an 80% tariff on barley, accusing Australia of selling the grain below the cost of production and subsidising its farmers, a claim denied by the industry and the government. It has been a huge disruption and has sent shockwaves through the Australian agriculture sector. Sanctions on red meat, coal, timber, lobster and red wine followed, kicked off a war in retaliation for political decisions. Well, whatever it is, we acknowledge that this matter has been resolved and we are pleased that this has occurred. And it affirms the government's approach, which is to cooperate with the Chinese government. We can disagree with some of China's policies, but we must engage in our national interest. The barley tariffs marked the beginning of a trade war, and their removal will go a long way to help support Australian farmers. This has increased the likelihood of a Prime Ministerial visit to China before the year ends. This is BBC, reporting live from Sydney.
That was Jordan Bantleman, our Australian editor for the BBC World Service there. But some more exciting stories coming up soon after the break. Across the UK and around the world, this is BBC News. Welcome back to the program. I'm Luke Terri, your host. Recently, the South Korean National Assembly passed legislation that allowed business owners to forbid children in certain restaurants and cafes, as well as public spaces like museums. Here's Guande Cen, our East Asia correspondent, with the details.
In numerous public places around the world, signs are commonly used to encourage appropriate behaviour, such as no smoking or no outside food. While these regulations are generally understandable for maintaining order, South Korea's approach stands out. Remarkably, certain public establishments, including cafes, restaurants, and movie centres, have implemented bans specifically targeting children. The underlying reasons for this apparent discrimination in South Korean society are worth exploring. In 2022, the country reported a birth rate of 0.77 children per woman, signalling a declining birth rate and diminishing population of parents. Consequently, it seems that the concerns of those without children are given priority of those who do have them. This male-dominated society is seeking higher birth rates, yet it appears the responsibilities and challenges of parenthood could be managed elsewhere. Consequently, it seems that the concerns of those without children are given priority over the needs of those who do have them. This male-dominated society is seeking higher birth rates, yet it appears they prefer the responsibilities and challenges of parenthood to be managed elsewhere. Despite the country's desire for an increase in children, it seems they may not want them frequenting certain public places. This is Guande Cen reporting from Seoul, South Korea.
Stay with us on the BBC for more news updates, either on BBC Channel 2, iPlayer or via the BBC website at www.bbc.com. Thank you for joining the program and good night.